So I remember the call came in. It's kind of a cold night.
And as we were going to the station, we got the call for report of multiple and trapped.
The first engine, the first pumper was out the door quick, and both of us got on the ladder truck, responded, and we got on scene pretty quick.
And I remember you could see the back corner of the house, of the building. There were flames already showing, heavy smoke coming out the top.
And I remember you telling me that confirmed entrapment, that we had to get up there. And we made our way up to the side porch, and the crew was pulling a hose line. We got to the door. A lot of heat, a lot of fire. And just as we were about to make entry, Doug Notestein, who was there, yelled to us that they found a basement entrance and they thought that's where the victim was.
I remember being up on the porch, and I looked to the left, and there were all the neighbors out yelling that he was down there.
Right.
He was down there. And then I looked down and saw Doug, and he said, get down here. We got a hose line. So I said, let's go.
I remember coming in, and there was a step down, that the actual floor level was one step below the porch. And I remember saying that I was going to go in and go to the right. And I started pushing into the room, and I remember suddenly I got knocked off balance, and I realized you'd hit me with the hose stream.
Yeah.
You'd hit me with the hose stream, and I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe he just did that. And I turned around and looked at you with probably fire in my eyes, and I remember what you said to me.
Yeah, I said, you're on fire. So, yeah, it was the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Motorcycle blew its gas tank.
We were now confronted with a fuel fire inside of a house. Water wasn't extinguishing the tires that were burning. Water wouldn't extinguish the fuel. You started the search, and I started to lift the motorcycle and push it towards the door. And Stephen Anthony and Austin Folio came in to give me a hand. Once we got the motorcycle out while you were searching and got the fuel cans out, we were able to extinguish the fire and get rid of some of the heat, and there was still a lot of fire upstairs.
I started searching, and the first thing I came up to was the stairway. And that's one thing I'll never forget. I looked up that stairway thinking maybe somebody ran upstairs, and it was just, the fire was burning so clean. It was just blue flames all the way up the stairs.
Right.
And knew I wasn't going up there, so I kept searching, found that doorway. I guess it would be below the living room of the building.
We knew that there was somebody in there. It felt like we'd been in there for 15 minutes when realistically it was probably less than 5.
I just got this weird feeling I should start moving stuff. So it was the first tarp that I saw. I picked it up, and he was laying underneath it.
The fuel in the motorcycle probably cut off his path of egress, and the best thing he could do was hide, and he hid under that tarp. And I remember you grabbed the head end and his shoulders, and I grabbed the feet. We started yelling that we found a victim. Stephen Anthony came in, and just because of the way he was underneath the tarp, I had yelled at Stephen to help, grab a hold of me and just yank me that we can get up and around the corner of the doorway. Tucker Haberman started CPR before we even had him on the ground. The fact that he survived, till the next morning, I'd have to say absolutely it's because of Tucker's fast actions of getting compression started on him. We both kind of stepped back, and at this point we knew we still had another victim. So we went back in.
Yep.
And, when our alarm started going off that we were at a quarter service, felt pretty confident that area was clear. I came out and I knelt in I knelt down that somebody could change my air cylinder, and for the first time really got an overall view of how much fire was above us. Again, we got another report that now they thought that the second victim was in the lower side or the other half of the double.
Yep.
And there was just so much smoke that you just can't imagine the low visibility of trying to do this in basically blackout conditions.
At this point, it was getting hot.
Right.
I could tell the fire was growing.
I followed the wall around, And I said, look, the stairs to go upstairs have got to be here. If these are the stairs to the basement, they've got to be opposite. I followed it around, and you were right behind me, and everything was blocked off. So we, kind of went back around, went outside, and kind of back on that side porch, just the opposite side of it. But again, we're
Same drop.
probably 4 to 5 feet off the ground that we didn't have a lot of room to work off of. And you found the door that would have been in the right place to go to the stairs.
I popped it and went to open it and felt a nudge. My heart just dropped. I said, oh no.
And at that point, we realized that, we have another victim. The victim was behind the door and actually wedged between the steps and the door, that even with both of us pushing on it, we couldn't open the door. So
That was the fastest I ever ripped the door off with a Halligan.
we had nowhere to move. We're on this side porch with a railing, so basically grabbed the hold of the door and I threw it in the opposite direction, knowing that we had to go to the front. You and I grabbed a set of limbs. Rodney Renner, Joe Flickinger grabbed the other set of limbs, and again we just started yelling, victim, victim, victim. And once we got out along that drop off and got out to the sidewalk, the same thing. There were enough other team members there, enough other firefighters, paramedics, that we just kind of stepped aside and they took them from there.
I remember looking up and just seeing the amount of fire on that building at that point. It was amazing we were even in there.
After removing the second victim, we needed to sit for a while. When you're under those situations, you have to be disciplined. You've got to be systematic. You've got to make sure that you do everything by the book.
No tunnel vision.
And as long as you stay focused and you follow the walls and you do what you've been trained to do, it works out.
And it did work.
It did in both instances. If you would say that every firefighter is a hero, I'd say, okay, I'd agree with that. Because we all deserve recognition for the things that we do, but it shouldn't be Scott, it shouldn't be me. We're members of a team, and we make a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.